Hey everyone! So today we are going to do the no BS travel gear video. And what I mean by that is I am not one of those travel people who comes on and says, oh, you gotta buy this little gadget and that little gadget and have all these fancy little things. I am going to make this as simple and straightforward as possible. I'm not gonna recommend anything I don't use myself. And it's as simple as that. I've been traveling for years and I have my travel kit worked down to near perfection, and so I'm going to share that with you, and I'm not going to waste your time or money on things you don't need. By the way, there will be a link in the description leading you to a page with everything I am talking about today, so be sure to check that out after the video. Okay, first up is the trusty hiking stick. Now, if you are doing any sort of nature walk or a safari, or maybe thinking about going to a waterfall, this is going to be very handy. And even if it's a light nature walk, if you're someone who's maybe not in the most amazing shape, this is going to be very handy. And even if you're someone who's really fit, some of those hikes are still a little challenging, and you will find a hiking stick very handy. Okay, now, there is not a lot to this. You don't need to get one of the super fancy ones unless you're going to make some major hobby out of it when you get home or something like that. But, they have 3 pieces, so you can adjust it to most heights. If you're really tall, you want to do a little research and make sure you're getting one that's tall enough for you. And I like to twist clothes, but they all work. Just make sure that when this is nice and compact like this, that it will fit in your luggage. And you can have it diagonal, but make sure it'll fit in your luggage. I actually strap mine on the outside of mine because I have that ability, and I haven't lost it yet. But if you're going to do anything out in nature, you're going to want a trusty hiking stick. Next up is one of my favorite items, whether it is for travel or everyday use, and that is a mini backpack. Yes, ditch the day pack, ditch the school pack. Don't be carrying that bulky thing around when you're visiting a new city. That's far more than you need. But this mini backpack is amazing. And you want me to pull it out of here? No, I'm not going to do that because I got one already open. So this becomes this. And this can hold like 17 water bottles. No joke. I've done it. And now the straps, in order to get that small, they're not really well padded, so don't plan to carry those 17 water bottles like 5 miles with this or your shoulder is going to be sore. But, wow, I probably should have set that up better. But this backpack is amazing. It's lightweight. And if you don't want to try and fold it back down in its little thing, which is attached, so you're not going to lose it, it's not that hard to do. But I find that you can just take it, fold it, fold it, fold it, and if you have a decent sized cargo pocket or just a decent sized pocket, you can just stuff it in your pocket. Just like that. Just like that. And then you don't even have to bother putting it back into this little bit of form anyways. So I highly recommend these because you can use them for travel and you can use them at home, you can use them for the grocery store, you can use them for anything. So high recommendation on the mini backpack. So as you may know, I am traveling around Africa. So this is a little bit Africa specific, and yet I've been non-Africa places where there are blackouts as well. So with the fact that power outages happen, it is a really good idea to travel with a flashlight. And you don't have to get fancy with this. It can be really simple. If it has a nice little clip to add on a hat, that's a good thing. But the really important feature is simply you want it to be flat on the back. And that is so when you set it, you can set it on a table, you can have the beam on. And flashlights nowadays are so bright that it will light the room. It'll light the room comfortably enough that you're not miserably sitting in the dark with a little tiny bit of light. This will save you in any blackout situation. Also, if you have a penchant for going anywhere rural, homestays, visiting villages, and you end up overnight, sometimes the bathroom facilities are away from your room, and this is good for navigating in the dark. So it's always good just to have a small flashlight. You'll be happy that you have it when you need it. Okay, so it's time to get serious. We have got to talk about mosquitoes. No, actually, I'm going to keep this real short. I highly prefer natural mosquito repellent, something like this. Whatever brand you get is fine. but I highly recommend a natural mosquito repellent, because if you have to put it on at night because there's a mosquito in the bedroom and you can't find it to smack it, it's not a bunch of harsh chemicals, and you're just not putting harsh chemicals on all the time. So I highly recommend a natural mosquito repellent. I've tested it. The ones with DEET might last a little longer, but you know what? They all sweat off at a very similar rate. So go natural if you can. The other thing is an after bite treatment, something that when you do get bit, it just makes it itch a little bit less. So this helps you keep from scratching it and irritating things. This one's called Sting Ease. There's another one called Afterbite, but get something to put on so you don't itch so much. Easy peasy. Okay, so this is another one of my favorite items, and it is a tripod selfie stick. I just had to steal it from my cameraman over here. He's doing handheld on this one, so you gotta let me know how he does. But you want to get a decent one. I will say I'm all for saving money and not overspending, but you know, if you see one for like $5 or $6, don't. If you go too cheap, they're crap. I got a cheap one and it's crap. So make sure you get a decent one. So this is wonderful. Okay, one, it gives you a nice handle to hold on to with. You know, you'll notice I have a rubber band around the little remote because all the crazy things I do with this selfie stick make me a little worried. You know, it's great for holding the phone when you want to do things like, hey, I want to get this shot out over the bridge. Hey, let's get a shot riding, you know, down by the pavement when you're riding in the yellow, or the tuk-tuk, as you may know it better. And, you know, I do crazy stuff, and this lets me get everywhere for my filming. If I'm in a crowd at a festival, I just get to go right above it. It's wonderful. And everyone else, you know, and it doesn't disturb anyone to have the camera way up there, and no one minds, but then I get shots that no one else can get. But you do want one that extends probably 30 to 36 inches or more. I have seen some that are really long, and that would be great if you need to set it on the ground and you are indoors. But just know that the longer it goes out, the shakier you get, the shakier the picture gets. So don't think that you're going to have a super long one and you're going to get a good stable picture out of it, okay? So that's more for stationary. So tripod selfie stick is absolutely awesome, and it'll let you do all sorts of things with your phone that you would not do without it. So that was the gear portion of the video. Now we're going to go on to some clothing items and personal items, and we are going to start with socks. Yes, socks. I know you might say, oh, I have socks. I travel with socks all the time. I don't need no stinking socks. Well, no, you don't need stinky socks, right? And that's kind of what's great about these. No, if you don't want to spend money on socks, don't. But what's awesome about these are darn tough. I don't know if you can read that, but these are darn tough. They have like this lifetime guarantee on them, and I've had these for probably a decade now. And the thing is, they're made out of a smart wool, although they do have different blends. But what's nice is I've actually tested this. I tested the limits, and you can actually wear these for 4 days before they start smelling. Now, the actual chemical makeup of your feet may change that a little bit, but day 5, man, don't get near them. Yeah, day 5, they're done. So 3 to 4 days, and what's really nice about that is if you're traveling for a few weeks, you can buy 3 pair, and you do half a week with one pair, half a week with the other. Then when those 2 pair go in the laundry, you've got your 3rd pair. And you can rotate these forever, and you only need to bring 3 pair of socks for the entire trip. So darn toughs if you are in the market for some new socks. However, if you are traveling in hot places, you may not need socks, as you may want to live in some sandals. Now, I have done a full review on these when I had first gotten them. I've had them for almost a year now, and they are awesome. These are Tevas. I have had Tevas before, and they are good. They're sturdy, they're durable, but you want some good hiking sandals, whatever good hiking sandals are for you. But as I say, I can highly recommend Tevas. I am going to put a link to the original review I did because they are still awesome. As you can see by their condition, I wear these every day. I go tromping around cities every day. I just did a tour of all around Ghana, and I wore these pretty much every single day. I even wore these to hike to the waterfall. Get yourself a good pair of hiking sandals. I recommend Tevas, and your feet will be happy. Okay, so I showed you socks, I showed you sandals, and no, I do not wear socks with my sandals. However, there are times that you need an actual closed-toe shoe to go hiking. Sometimes there are snakes, sometimes it's a safari and it'll be required, but sometimes you just need a good hiking shoe. And to go with your wonderful Darn Tough socks, a good pair of hiking shoes is what you need. Now, these are Obas, but I want you to get the ones that are right for you, not just the ones that fit me, because who knows what's going to work for you. So I recommend, if you're in the US, to go to REI, whether it's online or an actual store, because they have experts that will help you find the right pair. You want to get something sturdy. And I will tell you this, I know there are some shoes that come out and they're a little softer, cushier when you first put them on, but you know, when I bought these, the wonderful young woman at the store was like, you know, give them a little time, because while they're a little stiffer, they will last you longer. And she said, you know, she's like, don't just judge them by the first day you put them on. And she was absolutely right. My first pair lasted like 5 years. I'm on my second pair, and they're doing great. Even if you're not near an REI, you can use the online consultation that they offer. But if you're going to do anything tromping around in nature, make sure to get yourself a good, sturdy pair of hiking shoes. And so the next thing on the list is moisture-wicking underwear. Okay, no, I'm not going to show you my underwear. But if you are going anywhere hot, or even if you're going somewhere not so hot, but you're going to be doing things that make you sweaty, moisture-wicking underwear is just friendlier to your skin, shall we say? So if you can get some, do it. Your skin will thank you. Okay, the next item on the list is a product called camp suds. Now, I'll be honest, I can't get them right now where I am, so I don't have one to show you, but it comes in a bottle about this size. They also have a smaller 2-ounce bottle, so if you don't check your bag, you can still get it through TSA, no problem at airports. But camp suds are a camping soap, and they are a multi-purpose soap. You can wash your hair, you can wash your body, you can wash your clothes, you can wash the dishes, and it's biodegradable and all natural. And what I like about it is, one, it's concentrated. So when I say you're getting a little bottle, that little bottle lasts a long time. And two, sometimes it happens that you've sent your laundry out and there's a rainstorm, and you know, a lot of the hot places that I'm talking about traveling don't have dryers, so you are at the mercy of Mother Nature as to whether your laundry gets dry. So you're in a pinch, you're down to your last pair of underwear, and it's raining and you're not going to get your laundry back, and so sometimes you've got to wash your laundry in the sink in your hotel room at night, and that's when it's really good to have some camp suds, because they do a good job and they rinse clean. And yes, that is from experience, so that is a top traveler tip. Camp suds are a nice little bit of soap to carry that can do anything. Okay, so now I'm going to recommend something that every travel vlogger recommends, and that is packing cubes. These are the best thing in the world, and they are convenient. They make your packing easy. They make your organization easy. The features you should look for are, I like the mesh at least, because then you can see what is inside. And I will tell you, when you're choosing what to order and how many to order, the small and mediums are going to be your better bet. These are the ones that you're going to use the most. You do want some big ones, you know, for like pants and that sort of thing. For the most part, get more smalls and mediums. And see, I've had these packing cubes forever, but now they have the newfangled ones, which are the ones I'm recommending on the link I'm going to give you. And they have like a compression zipper, and I think that's a great idea. So all you get is an awesome upgrade. You definitely want packing cubes for your trip, just to help keep you organized. I don't know if you've noticed this, but while I've been making this video, I've been sweating. It is hot season here in Ghana, and even if it's just between takes, I'm always mopping them off because it is very hot here. So anytime you're traveling to a hot climate, you want to get yourself some bandanas, and you can buy them on the street here, no doubt, but buy them at home first, get like 3 of them, and wash them, because you know how they come and they're all stiff and they've got that sizing in them. Wash them a couple of times and then they'll be nice and soft and they'll be more absorbent. But see, what happens when you're here is you step out and you forget your bandana, so you buy another one. And then the next time you go out, you forget it and you buy another one. And then you buy another one. And then you go out again and you forget it and you buy another one. So when you're traveling, I recommend that you start with 3, try and keep it to 3, try not to forget it. And if you do end up with a whole bunch of bandanas, well, no complaints. So definitely try to get a few of these before you go. If you're traveling somewhere hot, I highly recommend having a hat, because you really don't want to have sunstroke ruin your day and just mess up your vacation. Okay, so let's go over some features of hats. Now, this is my stylish hat. This is the hat you, my audience, chose for me, and I love it, and it's absolutely awesome. But it's not the coolest hat that I could be wearing. So sometimes when it's really hot out there, this is not my hat of choice. Depending, if I'm filming, yes, it's definitely my hat. But if I'm just walking around, I've got some other choices. So from REI, my favorite gear store, but any good outdoor store will have something like this. And I've got my river hat. And this, I can completely fold this up. It might even look like it's folded up because I just pulled it out of a suitcase. But it has wonderful mesh sides. It has the strap if you're doing something like whitewater rafting. That's why I call it the river hat. You know, make sure it doesn't blow away, or if it's just a windy day. And the thing is, you may or may not think this is stylish. You may or may not want to wear something like this, but it is extremely functional. So this is a great choice. There are more stylish hats that are functional as well. And that is on I have a link I'm going to give you. It leads to a whole page of reviews on safari hats that I did. I know you're seeing me with hat hair. I'm not supposed to show you that, am I? And then you have something I definitely bought locally, and this is an awesome hat. It's got all the air flowing through it, and it has the strap in case it's windy, and it's like having your own shade zone that you carry with you. Now, if you buy a hat like this on location, just know that you may end up bringing it home as an awesome souvenir, or you may end up leaving it with someone at the destination that can use it more than you can because it didn't cost that much and it may be more functional for them, and then you don't have to deal with getting it on the airplane. So whichever you decide, whether you buy local hat or get an awesome safari hat or something like that, make sure you have some sun protection so that you stay healthy and happy for your trip. Okay, so let's talk about electronics when you travel. This is important. First of all, it is always good to have an extra power bank, and it is especially good in places that do have power outages. And I will say on top of that, make sure you keep them charged when the power is on. Remember that on an airplane, they cannot be any bigger than 20,000 mAh. I think it's milliamp hours, but 20,000 mAh is the limit for planes. So don't go getting some mega 30,000 one because they will confiscate it at the airport. So keep yourself with some power banks. The other thing that's great to have, depending on how many devices you're bringing, is a USB hub. And that would be something like this. There are two kinds, and I'll explain the difference in a moment. But this is a simple USB hub. There is a plug that comes out to the wall, and then you just plug all your devices into there. Easy peasy, it charges them all. Make sure it's a charging hub. And that's a nice, inexpensive way to go. The other one is this, and this is actually a voltage converter, and it has some surge protection, so if the electricity is doing weird things, it will protect your devices. Okay, but it also converts from 220 to 110 for those devices that need it. And so you've got 4 USB ports here, 3 regular plugs here, and what's interesting, this is something I want you to know, is that this is great for things like curling irons, flat irons, hair dryers, I don't know, anything that is really sensitive to current. But what you might not know, or you might, is that like your computer probably already has a converter box on it. If this is on the power cord of your computer, or sometimes it appears at the plug, just read the little thing and it probably says that it can handle 220 or 110. So technically you don't need the converter box for this. However, I like the extra surge protection that this offers for the computer. So depending on what you're bringing, if you're bringing your laptop, you might want to get one of these. And the last thing you need to make this all work is a travel adapter, depending on the plug of the destination that you're going to. And so it can be something like this, because I have a place that has British plugs. And oh, that's not the right cable. That's not the right end. So you take this, you stick it in there, you stick it in the wall. You might notice this looks funny. This is actually a universal adapter. This will fit any plug that you want to put into it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I have a travel set, and the blue one goes in here. I just don't know where it is at the moment. But I have a travel set that I have had for 30 years now, and this has never failed me. No matter where I am in the world, this has come up with a plug that I can use. And so honestly, I highly recommend just a simple set like this. I know they have all those big blocky cubes that can be twisted around and this and that and all these different plugs in it, but you know what? Not all wall plugs are that sturdy, and they're going to tend to fall out depending on the plug you're plugging it into. So I like the lighter weight, more versatile individual travel adapters. I think they're a lot more convenient. So that's going to get you set up for all your travel needs. Plus, keep in mind, if you forget the adapter, you can get one at your destination, I'm sure. Okay, so we need to take a minute to talk about SIM cards. Hands down, if your phone's unlocked and you can buy a local SIM card when you get into the country, it sounds like a hassle, but it is absolutely the best deal you're going to get. No doubt about it. There are international SIM cards and eSIM cards. They all cost quite a bit more than you're going to pay in country, which, hey, if that's your only option, then that's your only option. So definitely look closely. But the other thing I'm not in love with about those is that you can't tell what network they're going to be on, or at least they don't seem to be on the best networks available. So you're paying more money for a lower network. And so if you can, I highly recommend still getting a local SIM card. But if not, I would actually really look into the eSIMs, because what's more convenient than just being able to download it and do it all on your phone? My reason for talking about SIM cards is because if you're in Africa, the internet speeds are just not incredibly amazing. So if you're used to taking pictures and having them upload to the cloud, you're going to find yourself in a hard spot, because you're going to take a whole bunch of pictures and then it's going to take forever for them to load up to the cloud. And there's the water truck. This is getting kind of loud. All I'm saying is don't rely on uploading to the cloud to be your only backup for your photos and videos that you take while you're traveling. So let's cover a couple storage options right off the bat. I think the safest and most secure is a hard drive. External hard drives are great, but you have to be traveling with your laptop to make use of these. And I'll be honest, the newer ones are even thinner and smaller than this, because on my recent tour of Ghana, everything was about my footage and saving my footage. I would put one with my laptop and I'd carry one in my pocket. So I had double backup because I didn't want to lose anything. But external hard drives are great if you're bringing your laptop with you. Oh, and by the way, I recommend choosing 2 of these, whether you choose 2 of the same or mix and match, but that's because I'm a travel vlogger and I gotta have my footage. But I don't want you losing your footage either. So the next thing you want to consider getting is a photo stick. And I couldn't get my hands on a photo stick. I just don't have them around here. But it's essentially a flash drive with the attachment for your phone, and it plugs straight into your phone, and then you put it right on here, and then you can, when you get home, you can plug this into your laptop. And that sounds like a great option, is a flash drive type thing where then you don't need your laptop with you while you travel. Just remember, flash drives aren't known for their longevity. So once you get home, don't just leave it on your flash drive forever, because you might go back and it might not be there. When you get home, transfer it to your computer and or up to the cloud for safekeeping. And my last recommendation is multiple memory cards, whether it's for a camera you've brought or you're just using your phone and it's a micro SD. But I would recommend keeping several smaller cards rather than one giganto card, because if something happens to one giganto card, you lose everything for the trip. If you get like 16 gig or 32 gig cards and have multiples of them, then if you lose one, you only lose a portion of your trip. And I'm not saying you're going to lose them, but just in case. And that's the other thing, is make sure you have a good space to keep them so that you don't lose them, because these little buggers are easy to lose if they're not well contained. So there it is. No muss, no fuss. Your no BS travel gear guide video is finished, except one thing. Don't forget to check the link in the description. I'll see you next time.